Okay, it is now my pleasure to introduce our speaker from General Motors, Wendy Lange, engineering manager. I've had the pleasure of working with Wendy ever since the inception of our project at GM, and it is a tough business to do this stuff. And Wendy has been extremely successful in rolling and leveraging Auros at General Motors. Let's welcome Wendy. Thank you.
Whiskey on the beer, blame the beer on the whiskey, blame the morning on the night for who's lying here with me, blame the bar for the band, blame the band for the song.
All right, good afternoon. I will try to keep you guys awake after lunch in that great, cool K-PAC contest. I have to say the song thing, when Brittany sent me the email and I'm like, theme song, what the heck am I gonna use for a theme song? So maybe not the best idea, but got together with my husband and my two 20-something-year-old kids, a good bottle of bourbon and 4 shot glasses. And my daughter's laptop, so she started popping up suggestions, most of which made us laugh till we cried, but were not appropriate for this audience. Then this song popped up and I was like, it ain't my fault. Do I hear that too often? I think I do. And how do we get rid of that? This is perfect because it really talks to what my presentation is about, which is how do we use all the bits and pieces of Auros that you've heard about over yesterday and today to take away those excuses, to deliver that knowledge to the people that need it so they know what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And we know as leadership, are they doing it, and are they doing a good job of it? So as Jeff said, we started looking at Auros in 2010 is when we actually rolled out, and our first implementation was for best practices. So we were focused on Capacs, and we've grown to what you just saw with Jerry's presentation, where we have actual Capacs that are driving things in math, and we've had much growth with the assessments, especially in our interior area, as Nicole Nicholas presented a couple years ago on all the great stuff they've done there. So now it's how do we take that to the next level? So next slide. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the life of a release engineer real quick, and then how do we organize that using a Method K-PAC, and then taking that Method K-PAC and implementing it in a team board to visualize it, and use that to drive what the DRE does, and then what the benefits of that are. So we all know the release engineer has kind of a crazy life, right? They've got all these different things they got to worry about, and in a lot of cases, 20 different tools they got to do those things in. How do they keep track of it all? Next slide. Well, if we give them the Method K-PAC to walk them through the process and put that in a team board so it's visualized for them, we can help them to simplify their lives. So the Method K-PAC really defines what is their flow of work and when do they need to do it. As the guys showed you yesterday, you can put those flags in there based on the timing off of program offsets. So then once you set those up, then you can link that to appropriate sets and K-PACs and things. And then they can be customized because what Nicole wants to do in interior is going to be different than what the electrical guys need to do day to day, is different from what the body guys need to do. So each area can have their own customized Method K-PAC, and all we have to do with that one set of milestones that Jeff's going to help us automatically read in from our timing system, we can set the offsets to those milestones, and each area then gets their own individual timing plan. And then as, of course, you know, things change, how we do things change, when things need to be done changes. So all I have to do is go in and update that offset in the Method K-PAC. The next time I put it into a team board, it's automatically updated. So here's just kind of a high-level thought process on this. So, you know, we have various types of reviews we need to do along the way. We do what we call peer reviews at various states. We have maybe a requirements review. Did I do all my DFMEA steps? I can have a review for that. with timing set to it. Design reviews, our best practices reviews. And then with each of those steps, you can associate a set to that so that it says, these are the set of K-PACs that I care about for this topic at this time in the program. So then as the DRE works their way through this, they know this is what I need to look at. I open the K-PAC, it tells me what I need to do, what I need to care about, helps me walk my way through and not miss things. Then we have to use that in the team board then. So I've got this one Method K-PAC for Nicole for her seats, right? So then I have to put that onto a program. So I have to put it into an assessment so that I'm now assessing that method against the program. So again, the Method K-PAC then pulls the timing from the program. We can do this manually today with 7.6. Hopefully when we get through rolling in 8, we will be able to have that automatically happen. Then that creates the Gantt chart that they showed you yesterday. The assessments then can be created for each step when it's time. And I think Nicole would tell you they like to create them if the due date is at a certain point. You want to create them weeks ahead of time so that people can start looking at them. If you have issues that are created against those, you'll be able to see those on the team board. So they've got what their assignments are, what their issues are working, all in one place. If there's tasks assigned, again, like they showed yesterday, you'll see those there. They'll know what their tasks are, when they're due, and if they're late or not. And then there's standard reports that we can generate for the management so they can see how things are going. So this was just a sample one I put together based on that made-up method I showed you. So I come in, I see, okay, these are my things, my main milestones I have to meet. What timing is set to those? And if I click and go to the master assessment wall, I can see right from the start my whole layout for the program of all the things I need to worry about, and I can zoom in on the part of the program I'm in at that time. Okay, it's time to start working on my first assessment for this program or have it set up. We have the technical experts in an area create those assessments for the DREs so that they have the right stuff in them and are set up and ready to work. So if I just click on the little icon that shows up once I've associated a set to that step, it'll open a window, it'll show me the set that's been associated. If I want to know the details of what's in that set, if I'm curious, if I'm wondering, do we have the latest, I could click the link and open it to see what's in it. Or if I know it's the right stuff, because I'm creating my sets dynamically. I don't know if you're familiar with dynamic sets, where I can, based on the attributes, right, pull in the right stuff and always have the latest and greatest. We use attributes heavily at GM. Nicole probably uses them more than anyone, but they really help us to sort, filter, pull in the right stuff at the right time. So if I'm doing that and I know I have the right stuff, all I have to do is click the Generate Assessment button. It's going to open the Create Assessment field screen for me. I fill out the right information. Once I get version 8, hopefully this will all just get done for me. I'm going to click Generate Assessment. Now I have the assessment associated to that. Now the DRE comes in, they can mouse over that. Again, as they've shown you before, you get your little pop-up card that tells them where they're at with that assessment, how many things they have to assess, what the status of them are. If they open it up and see they have work to do, all they have to do is click on the left side of that card and it'll open the assessment for them. So the benefits of this, again, they have one place to go. They have all the knowledge and what they need right there, and it walks them through so they don't miss things. And as we add, the other thing we love about Auros is the flexibility, right? As I learn, as I grow, I need to add more into my assessment. I just add more into my sets. It has that handy little yellow with the blue circle in it that if I add something to the set on an assessment that's already out there, I can update, right? Or if I no, I'm not ready to do that, I don't have to. So I also get then, as we're assessing these things, the read across is another thing that's huge for us. Interiors has been doing their assessments for their peer reviews in Auros for about 3 years now. So they have read across on all of those hundreds of Capacs that they look at as they go through a program. Use those in a variety of ways. One way I think Nicole will tell you is when they get into a review and the DRE says, this is a horrible Capac. Nobody can meet this Capac. How could anybody meet this? And Nicole goes, open the Capac, reports, occurrences. Well, 150 other people met it. How come you couldn't do it? Or maybe she opens it up and goes, we do seem to have a problem meeting this one. Maybe we need to look at it. Is it just not clear what I need? Have we learned that maybe something about this design doesn't work? So you have that information to help you to improve over time the quality of your Capacs. And I think we can say we definitely have seen that in the interior area where as they're doing this over time, as they're getting that data, as they have it available to them, they are continuously improving the information, growing their knowledge, improving their knowledge, and feeding it to the engineers that need it on a timely basis. And I think that's probably the hugest, and one of the reasons we went to Auros in the first place is it delivers the information to the people. They don't have to, as we've said many times over the last 2 days here, they don't have to go search for it. We do have a library at GM too, have not been to it in years, but in Auros, it's there, and if we can deliver it to them when they need it, then they don't miss it. And then I don't hear that, it's not my fault it didn't get done. Because I am saying, yes, it is, you knew. We told you how, we told you when. You have no excuse. And the exciting thing is, as we're starting to roll this out and getting more people pulled in with all the reviews and now having the team board so that we can actually visualize this and show people all the steps and where they're headed. And we have, Joel had to leave, but Chris is back there. They're creating all these Method K-PACs for all the areas, and we're starting to show people this is what we're doing, this is how it works, this is how it'll lead you through. Suddenly, Christine, who is we call her the Queen of Auros because at GM, she is the one who keeps Auros going. Christine's phone, email, off the hook. Hey, that's great. Can we put this process in? Oh, and that'll work for this. As soon as people start actually seeing what it can do, they're like pounding your door down. I want in too. So it's exciting to see how we can bring it together. And if you think back to that first chart of the poor DRE with all those things, if he goes, oh, well, I just come in and open Auros, open my team board, here's all the things I need to do. Oh, my interface control agreements. Well, they're in Auros now. I just click on my assessments tab and find my ACD information and fill it in. Oh, I need to do DFMEA stuff. Well, maybe we're not doing the actual DFMEA in Auros, but here's the list of things I need to do, and here's a link that takes me to that tool. So it helps to guide them where they need to go instead of coming in the morning to that, which tool do I go to today, and what am I supposed to do today? I'm not sure I remember. So we are loving the team boards so far, and very excited about that new functionality. So, and again, hopefully coming in V8, we're going to get that automatic connection to our timing system so that it'll auto-create some of the team boards for us so that each of the areas, when it's time for as a new program comes into the system, they'll be set up, ready to go. And that's it. Do I let Nicole ask a question? Is this the stump the presenter question?
So one thing I wanted to add to what Wendy was saying, the collaboration, and I hadn't really seen it in any of the presentations so far, is because we have all of interior, we have, I don't even know what the count is, but it's probably close to 20 different COPs that are currently creating assessments within within Auros. We are now collaborating with linking to each other's assessments, which we haven't seen here. So not only can I look across, I also link to, I'm in seats, I link to seat belts, I can link to airbags if I had an assessment there. And that way, I can confirm that we're assessing the same way. So we've seen that we might have coded ourselves one color and seatbelts have coded us another color, and so we go, well, why is it different? So we can collaborate between the two and confirm that we have the same information and we're assessing it the same way, and we can understand if there is an issue between the two, and then we can try to work to resolve that. So that's one thing that you can do when you have multiple areas within the assessment and you do the push-pull console. Now you can go read across the two and also link to each other. So that's just what I wanted to add to that. And then I did have a question, more for you.
All right, well, before you guys, so I think she made a good point, though, that the collaboration, the visibility, even the areas we've gotten in doing issues a little more lately, their key thing is the visibility. It's visible. Now I know what's going on. And like Nicole said, there's at least 20 COPs using assessments. We have over 600 COPs with everything from engineering to manufacturing, so growing quickly. We have over 18,000 users.
Yeah, and I think we can find information very quickly. I know that my counterpart to the left of me, we've been challenging finding information, being able to look back, and in the older system, because we do run two different knowledge management, I don't want to say knowledge management systems, I'm going to say design review systems, or peer review systems. We've got two, and I challenge anyone in the old system to find the information that we can find in Auros. I'll give a 5-minute time limit, and I'll be able to beat it by several minutes compared to the old system.
Right.
So it's very dynamic, and and once again, everyone, when they see what they can do compared to the old system, is, wow.
That's why the
Now I
old
can
system
see.
will be gone by the end of the year.
All right, so my question is with the method, I think you've demonstrated that the flags and the evaluations can be done, I believe, on a single Capac, or does it have to be a set assessment? Can I set a flag to be complete for a Capac at certain times within the method?
Within the method, we won't be, because the method's just saying I need to do an assessment, right? Then
can
you'd
I-
have to have your individual due dates on the Capex within the assessment.
So I can put an individual due date on a Capac within the set, or within the assessment?
Yes, within the
Can I
assessment.
pull a separate Capac out as a separate entity between two sets?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
So say I have a Capac that explains a process that needs to be done. Now I have a set which is like milestones, like I'm thinking peer
Right.
review. I have peer review 1, peer review 2. I'm going to review my that process to be complete at my second one, but maybe I need to do it twice in between the two. So I've got this intermediate timing step between the two
So you
end
just
gates.
add another little box
Can we
in
add a
there.
flag and then put the, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, can we add the flag
Oh, yeah.
and put a Capac to it?
That's
You
the
see what I'm
nice
saying?
thing about the method is you can add, and this is what I've been telling our technical experts, they're going to be setting these up for their areas. There's a base set of reviews you have to do, right? You're not going to get out of those. You have to do those. We're going to track those. Got to be done. Above and beyond that, you can add as many steps in as you want and make them do whenever you want. Whatever will help your engineers to get where they need to be at the highest quality, put it in there. And that's, again, the flexibility of the tool. And they are very excited about that concept.
I have a question first.
No, Jeff.
So in the past few years, in having Auros expanded new processes at GM, how did you deal with the issues of PLM and Auros and the strategy part of PLM? Does it fit? Does it fight? How do you see that?
It kind of both, right? So PLM, to me, is kind of a nebulous term, right? There's so much that can be included in that. And we actually have a bubble chart that I don't have included in my slides because I wasn't sure I'd be allowed, but that shows all the different things, similar to that first chart, only it's just little bubbles of all the different actual tools we have in GM that people use for different things. And as we started to group those, you know, you sometimes hear people say, oh, you should have everything in one tool. I could not disagree more. Each tool has a thing that it does well, right? And if you try to put everything in one tool, first of all, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, never a good idea. Second of all, then you're sub-optimizing what you're trying to accomplish. So if you look at a smaller set of key tools that do what they do really well and integrate those tools. So in our minds, Auros is our knowledge management tool within that set of tools, and that needs to integrate with our CAD tools. And systems engineering, we're still trying to figure out, but as you integrate those together, then that is your set of PLM tools, I would say. But it's really, I think, in a lot of companies, including us, we struggle with what's that right balance? What are the right tools for what things? And how do you integrate them together? So, yeah, there's been lots of debate on what's your PLM tool set, what is PLM, it's a complex question. It's a complex industry,
Wendy,
right? So.
You have been implementing Auros now at GM for several years. Over that time, obviously you've given several examples of the efficiencies you're seeing. Are there actual metrics that perhaps that are being developed that shows, well, this is how many dollars of value it has achieved? I mean, you know, you could.
It's a hard thing to put, and you probably all had to do this for a project, right? Justify your project. How much money is this going to save? And calculating that figure is a challenge. We have put some figures out there because even though, which we love so much, that we do most of the configuration ourselves and we don't need an IT project to do it, we do have to once we get a release, after Jeff and his wonderful team that we really love, and especially I have to give a shout out to Kurt, and he answers all our calls all the time, and sometimes I think he sees our number and goes, oh, not again. But once they do their magic and get us whatever updates we've asked for and others have asked for, and we need to do a release, we have to justify an IT project to get the release, right? And so we have put together some estimates on savings. I don't know how accurate they are, but they're large numbers. They get our projects justified, and I have to say, even when I have trouble getting a project in the battle of what we're going to do next year, by the time it's time to actually do the release, I have enough high-level executives screaming that we need it now that I get it anyway. So,
I have actually two questions. Do you guys have a dedicated Auros department within GM? And if yes, how many people you have working on it?
me and Christine. And that's it for 18,000 users, and Christine will tell you it's a difficult job. Now we have subject matter experts for the different, because we now have quite a few processes in the tool, right? Like I said, we've just finished migrating all the data in for our interface control information, and Glenn Harkenrider over there is our process owner for that, and he manages some of that. And we have the peer review guys that are doing that work. So we have people that help, but as for dedicated resources, Christine is pretty much it.
Other questions? Wendy, just another, you have other things in your portfolio other than Auros, though, right? Or no? Your responsibility.
Process-wise, yes. Tool-wise, mainly it's Auros.
Tim, do you have a question? No. Okay, all right. Let's give Wendy a big round of applause.